Well, thank you, ladies, for your time this morning. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You want to start and tell me a little bit about yourselves and the balance culture?
Sure. All right. Well, I'll start. My name is Ruthie, Tait, and I'm one of the owners of Balance Culture with Kirstin. I am originally from Gainesville, Florida, so just a couple hours away. I came to Lakeland, what year is it? Almost like 10, 11 years ago to go to Southeastern, and ended up staying afterwards and loving it. Love Lakeland. I originally, like when I first came here, was like, all right, I don't know about this. There wasn't like at all these businesses that have started, they were non-existent. So it was a totally different like vibe. And so I was like, all right, I'll just, finish school and probably move away. And now like love Lakeland, can't imagine living anywhere else.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
So yeah, it's like the best, but yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I'm originally from New Jersey, but I moved to Florida 15 years ago now. But I moved to Lakeland for Southeastern. Same, we went to school different times, but we both came to Lakeland for that reason.
Yeah.
And been here ever since, loved it. I got married super young, so right after freshman year of college. And so we kind of planted our roots here and decided, okay, this is where we want to be long term. And so loved it ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what do y'all love about Lakeland? We have a lot of business owners that, even live somewhere else but decided to open businesses.
Yeah.
in Lakeland. What do you think it is about the community that makes it such a good hotspot for business?
I think for new businesses specifically, people feel really encouraged and supported to start from day one.
Yeah.
Of even just mentioning like the idea of like, hey, this is something that we could possibly do. People just like grabbed a hold of it, wanted to be involved, wanted to support. Before the studio ever opened, we had this space and it looked pretty raunchy. And we would host free classes just to see like, okay, is anybody interested in this whatsoever? And we specifically Pilates, which didn't exist here at all. It was a fairly new concept even at the time. And we would pack it out. I mean, we would fit like 80 girls in there.
Wow.
It was insane. And so it showed us right off the bat, like, okay, there's an interest for it. There's a market. People want something new. They want these new ideas and concepts.
Yeah.
They just need somebody to bring it. So
and there's so much support offered for business owners, like getting off the ground, and then even as you like a couple years in, we're 5 years in now, and like I feel like every year people are always like, how can we help you? We want to support you. I mean, even like interviews like this, just we want to promote your business, and so like with Catapult, they've been like a huge supporter of the balance culture, and so. We definitely never take that for granted. I just feel like she said, people in Lakeland, they're hungry for like something new. They like, let's make our city the best. Like I feel like it's just like pride. They're like on Lakelanders, like,
So you have people that are like fourth generation Lakelanders.
I know.
In the same way, like we'll never ever leave. My boyfriend was born and raised in Lakeland. He says all the time, I'll never leave. I'll never leave. He's gotten job offers like in Chicago and stuff. He's like, nope, I'll stay in Lakeland. That's huge.
And I think once you have kids too, it's like you sell your roots big time. And to have like other families that are close to yours, it's hard to think about living anywhere else.
And Lakeland's nice because it's very central. It's like it's right in the middle of the state. It works out. Talk to me about like the small business community, because I know that's definitely a big thing here.
So when Balance Culture started in 2015, and I feel like for so many businesses that was the year that they started. Like Concord was opening that year, Born and Bred, like everybody with Cobb and Penn, I think around then. So it was just like everybody was kind of getting started at the same time, and there was just a lot of like entrepreneurial spirit. And I think, like I said, mentioned before, like Catapult really came alongside and was like, all right, how can we like make sure these businesses make it? Like we want Lakeland to be great. Like how can we help them make it? And so they, I feel like, are a big part of like making that community feel like you guys are all in this together. And we were never like members at Catapult just because we didn't need to run an office or anything just for the studio. But we have just been involved with them for so long, and they connected us actually recently. We've been a part of kind of like I don't know what you call it, like a support group, business support group, like, and it was, I feel like really has helped like shape our business over these past couple of years. And so we would meet once a month with about 12 or so different businesses, all like varying like experience levels and types of businesses. And it really like at first was like, okay, like this is going to be, we were, committing to being there for a whole day. I was like, hey, this is going to be a lot of time to be here. And now like I can definitely say like we looked forward to it so much. We gained so much like knowledge. And now those are like some of our greatest like business friends. We always check in like, how are you guys doing? Especially 2020, how are you doing?
Yeah, literally. That's the phrase. Like, how are you doing?
Yeah. So there's just all those little ways that they've like connected businesses. And I mean, when you own a business, you know the struggle. And so, you know, like, even if you own a bar, you own a gym, like, there's the struggle. And so it's like, you like kind of see that in each other and want to encourage it and be like, all right, you know, you got this. Like, you want to see them succeed as much as you want to see yourself succeed.
Yeah,
so
each other up.
Yeah.
That's something that I definitely noticed in like the community. All these small businesses are super supportive of each other.
Yeah.
So speaking of the pandemic, how has that affected the business of the balance culture? How have you guys kind of adapted?
So interesting, like right off the bat, we saw what was coming, and we already had started planning, like, okay, if we have to shut the studio down for a period of time, like how can we continue to like impact our members, impact our community? We don't want to stop just because we have to close our doors. So the weekend before, because everything happened so fast, we were like, okay, let's launch an online platform of all of our fitness classes and our types. So we started working on it, and then literally 2 days later, everything shut down. But we had already gotten the ball rolling, and by that Friday, launched a complete website with, I think we had like 40 workouts up there to start. And that way, even though we physically couldn't meet, we were able to continue to be there for the girls in a different way. We then also launched our online clothing line, which is called The Collection. And so we took all of our merch and all of that. We just wanted to let the girls know, like, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're here. We want to continue to invest in you in different ways, let you feel connected. And so that took off as well. And then the studio opened. We were closed for about 2 months. But we were able to really stay connected to the girls through all those things. We did a challenge as well.
Online, like fitness challenge,
And the girls won, was it
a gym bag?
And people got really into that. We're like posting on social media. There's
a lot of things people do for a gym bag. I love gym. Like I have like 7 that it's in my closet, but they're
no, totally. They like hustled for it. So that was really cool. Like social media, we had like, I mean, most activity, just the girls connecting through that than we have ever had. And then since then, like opening has actually been pretty great. Like the girls
better than we thought.
I think that like people are just hungrier than ever for connection. And so now when the girls enter the studio, it's more than just like, hey, I'm here to take my class and then leave. I would say we had that more, we've always had that connection, but this is taken to another level because people want that vulnerability. They want that connection. I feel like now I can probably tell you most of the girls' stories when they walk in the door of like what's going on in their life because they're coming in early, they're staying late, they want to share and they want to, you know, have that point of contact. So it's been really cool and honestly probably one of the best seasons of our business ever. And
I can imagine like exercise is like the #1 stress reliever. And with the pandemic and all the changes and everything happening, like having something that's just one sense, like something that's just like a sense of normalcy. Is so huge right now. I'm gonna pedal back a little bit because I meant to ask and I didn't. But talk to me about how you two met and how the balance culture got started.
Our story.
I love story.
Our love story. We're a unit. I love a relationship. We're best friends.
Business owners have to.
We're like, we run the business together, obviously, but we also are best friends. Like even on our off time, we're together. Like we were together last night. Our family.
What are we doing?
We don't really get sick of each other, which is good. Did you want to share?
Sure.
We're going back and forth.
Probably did.
Well, so like she mentioned, we both went to Southeastern, but we didn't attend at the same time, so it's not like we became friends then. Our husbands actually met and started working together, and they were like, both of them were like, hey, like, you should meet Kirstin, like, I think you'll like her. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to. I feel like that sounds weird. Like, we're not gonna get along.
Wait, you're like, why though? You're like, I'm an adult, I don't need to be set up on play dates.
Exactly. I was just like, I'm good.
They did have that.
I had my friends. I was like, whatever, it's fine.
Men are weird that way. They're so awkward themselves.
They're so weird. But they're like, we're gonna make this connection. They were desperate for us to be friends, and so we ended up meeting like officially at like a friend's wedding and like really hitting it off, and then we had to go on like a work trip again for our husbands together, and it like sealed the deal. Was that weird?
Okay, this is like how many years ago now? 8?
This is like 2013.
Yeah, I mean like 7 years ago. And like Lakeland was not a hot spot for like exercising and eating healthy. So like it was very difficult to find somebody that was into those types of things. So when we went on this trip and we're like talking about like, you know, different workouts we do and different like health things and all of that. We're like, wait
a minute.
We found each other.
Through the masses. Yeah.
So that was like such a point of connection for us. And so
definitely.
The rest is history.
Yeah, we really did click. Like after that, it was like instant. We started working out all the time together. We would go to the gym like
for 2 hours, but we would only work out like
we would yeah, and so we like really. I mean, at the time, I was working at like a nonprofit. You were in school.
And in school.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I didn't want to work at my job like forever. It wasn't like, okay, this isn't my dream job. I really liked it, but it was like, okay, I want something different. Kirstin, felt the same way. And again, we talked about working out and like fitness and nutrition all the time. And so it was like, okay, well, let's do something in that. So it honestly started out as like, the first thing we did, I was getting married at the time, and we were driving back from Gainesville. I had like a bridal shower up there, so it was like a 2-hour drive, and we were talking, and we're like, what do we want to be doing in 5 years? Like that felt like a good chunk of time of like, what do we want our life to look like? And we like described it to each other like in pretty like detail, like, okay, we wake up, like this is what we're doing, this is what we're eating, this is where we're going, like trying to be as specific as possible. And we both really wanted to like wake up, have like a family by then, and be spending time with our kids, like taking them to school, teaching fitness classes, like connecting with, women in the community, encouraging them, in their health journey, and, then getting our kids, like just having kind of like that, finding our passion and, wanting to do something with that. And so we're like, okay, well, what can we do right now that will get us there? And so I was like, all right, well, we should try to start getting a job as a fitness instructor at like a local gym. So like, all right, she picked Pilates, I picked yoga, like let's just get our certifications, and the plan was to apply for a job just to like teach like once a week maybe. Yeah. And then that was like, okay, this is like a big step.
It's like a big deal.
Yeah. And so it was like, all right, let's just do it. Like we're doing it together and, push each other in that way to like, try to take a step forward. Because it's easy to just be like, next year I'll do that. Next year I'll do that.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So that was like kind of the first step that we took. And Kirstin, you can kind of take over for your part. Was also starting nutrition school at the time as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was starting nutrition school. I had just finished my master's in counseling at Southeastern. I had done my undergrad in psychology, and I was a therapist for about a year. And I was meeting with clients one-on-one, and I loved like being able to, build that relationship with them, build that rapport. But I felt like because I had become so passionate about fitness and nutrition, I was like, okay, there's other ways that I feel like I can really help them. And so, and I noticed, okay, I don't love being in an office all day. So it was kind of the same thing, say client paperwork, and so on. I mean, 6 or 7 hours a day. So that kind of made me start thinking, okay, I want to do something different. I still want to help people, but maybe in a more holistic way. Yeah. And so I went to nutrition school. I did it online while I was working on my Pilates certification. And once I graduated the program, started seeing clients. It was before the studio even opened. So I would do like private Pilates sessions and nutrition. And I loved it. I loved being able to help specifically women in that way. I got to choose my clients and work with them the way that I wanted to work with them and help them meet their goals, but like in a healthy way that could last them for a lifetime.
Right,
so
that's huge.
Yeah, so it was really cool. I love that I'm still able to do that. I meet with a few clients a week, and I love it. I really do. I love being able to see that change and like them taking ownership of their health. Like I tell them when I meet with them right away, I want to work myself out of a job. Like, you shouldn't need me X amount of time from now, because you should have the tools to be able to do this on your own, making tweaks throughout your life. So it's been cool.
I love that. And that's such a cool perspective too. I mean, I think when people are thinking about their futures and long-term goals, they don't necessarily always take that, step back and think, okay, what are the little things I have to do to get to where I want to be, and that's so important.
Yeah, and I think dreams can feel overwhelming sometimes. Like,
how could we ever get from here to there?
But it really is just those little steps. And I think if you just grab one or two things, you're like, okay, I'm just going to focus on these. It really builds momentum, and then you get kind of that wind under your sails, and you're like, okay, I want to keep going because this is working. So.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you guys say are some of the best parts about running your own business?
Control your time.
Yeah, the best part is you can do whatever you want, whenever you want.
Whenever you want.
Meaning with like your day-to-day, like, okay, this week we're gonna go lighter, you know, if something's going on with the kids, like we really focus on that. But then also like within the business, like we can do whatever we want. Like we're not, even a franchise, so there's not really like a handbook of like, there's no rules. So it's like, and I feel like that's been so fun for us. We've also learned a lot. Like we always joke, like we're gonna write a book and have a whole chapter, maybe a couple chapters at this point of fails. Yeah, the whole book was just like our fails.
Maybe like part one, part two.
Because we love what we do, and so like we're working from a place of passion, and so when you have passion for what you do, you're always like, well, what can we do to like make this better, to like make the experience better, to have something new, and that's like, every week it's like, okay, what should we do next month? Like let's think of something. So I feel like that's the best part. It's just like every day you wake up and you're like, okay, what are we gonna like do today?
And just being able to like. I always pictured when I was younger, I was like, I want to work. I know I will want to work, but I also want to have a family. And so being able to be in control of my time, set my schedule, and keep my kids a priority has been everything. Personally, my daughter, she was born with Down syndrome, and she was also born with a heart condition. And so for about the first 7 or 8 months of her life, it looked a lot like me working a lot less because I had to make her a priority. We had a lot of doctor's appointments. And so being able to take a step back, and like Ruthie obviously stepped up big time that time, and be able to just focus on her and her needs. Like I would never have been able to do that in a 9 to 5, but like to have our community rally behind us and be able to focus on her for 9 months, was pretty amazing. So
peace of mind.
Exactly. Like everything's fine. Everything's fine. The studio's doing great. Like I can put my attention here right now and not even feel guilty about it. Like this is what deserves my attention, and that's it. And so to be given that is such a blessing, and I know that we were so fortunate in that way, like me and my family. And so that has just been huge. And like without owning a business, that just wouldn't have been possible. So
I love that. So conversely, what are some of the most challenging? You talked about this is your book.
I feel like a huge part of why we don't have as much of a, there's definitely hard parts, but I feel like having the partnership that we have has really made even like the hardest times seem like, okay, we can get through it. Because when you have someone that's like equally invested as you, like, okay, if we fail, like we're going down together. Not just like, oh, I kind of care about what's happening with you. Like that has helped a lot, like especially in this year where it's been like, every week, every month, it's like, okay, what's the next hurdle that we have to overcome to like keep our business going? And having each other to like lean on, because there's always, one day, I might be feeling more like pessimistic, like I don't know, like what are we gonna do? And the other person always steps up and is like, no, we got this. Like you just are constantly switching back and forth. So I feel like I know that didn't really answer your question. There's definitely hard parts. Like honestly, probably one of the hard things is similar to the best. Like you can do anything. Like there's no rule book. There's no like if you follow these steps, you're gonna succeed. Like so for us, it's been a lot of like try, fail, readjust. Try. It's like everybody goes through that, but. There's nobody that's already paved the way, so it's kind of like we hope this works, like, and we're pretty determined to make it work. So,
but we really we just even through talking with other businesses and stuff, like, I think because of our girls and how amazing they are, and they truly are. We're not just saying that because we have to say that. We really do. Like, there has not been very many difficult times. Like, I just feel like we've been able to, like, if there has been, minor things, so easily overcome them. But like in the scheme of business, I feel like we've been very, very blessed with things being pretty streamlined for the most part.
We have a really good team. We have a team of about 40 women between our interns and our instructors.
Wow.
And they're all like, they're not just like, well, let me show up, do the job, and leave. Like they're really bought into like the mission of balance culture. And they're equal part as us in furthering like, empowering women. And they do so much, and they're like amazing. Outside of their classes, they're always like connecting with the women and like showing up and like being willing to do whatever needs to be done. And so that has been like huge. And we have been really strategic about who we've brought onto the team, because we know that's such an important part of like a well-functioning business. Is like, most people, it's like their staff. Ours, it's like our team. They're more than just like staff to us. It's like a family. And so the girls are just like amazing and really.
I did not know that you guys had that many people working.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I started off at like a was like 8 of us.
Yeah, it was pretty small.
And it's grown as we've grown, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't even define like that many people. I wouldn't even define that as like small business at all. You guys are that's big and growing.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
What would you guys say is some of the biggest piece of advice you guys would give to anybody that's starting their own business?
I would say you need to make sure that you are so passionate about whatever that mission is, because that passion will carry you through like those hard moments. Like, because our mission is empowering women, even when things are like, okay, how are we gonna figure this out? Like, we're shutting down the studio doors, like what are we going to do? To have that mission kind of threaded throughout everything we do, it made it really easy to like, okay, let's recenter and refocus back on target, empowering women. What does that look like in this season? And I feel like if you aren't super clear on that mission, it's easy to get detoured, and it's easy to honestly want to quit, because it's like, what's the, for what now? So being really clear about whatever that mission is and standing behind it 100%, not wavering.
So going back to what you mentioned about your 5-year plan before you opened the Balance Culture, what do the next 5 years of this plan look like?
That's a great question. We actually were talking about that like a couple months ago, because like, all right, the 5 years has been up now for like a year. I need to like readjust, because you know the importance of like, if you have a plan, like you can't just get like to where you want to be just kind of like meandering with no like clear direction. So we have some things in mind, like I feel like we don't have it yet, but for the future of the Balance Culture and just like personally,
we know we want to continue to impact women, and we want to expand our reach. We don't know exactly what the details of that look like. Like, we actually both been like, okay, let's just pray about this separately, and then we'll actually come back and like individually write out like, okay, this is what we personally want our next 5 years, and see kind of where those crossovers are. We know we want to continue to work together. We know we want to continue to impact women. Like Ruthie mentioned earlier, it's like, when you own your own business, the world's your oyster. You can literally do whatever you want, which is the most amazing thing ever. But at the same time, it's like, okay, how do I hone in on like exactly what that next step is? Especially because we have the whole rest of our lives. So like, different seasons will call for different things. So we genuinely don't know like exactly what it looks like. But we do want to expand our reach. We do want to continue to impact women, and we want to invest in their health in every way of their life. So we'll keep you in the loop. When we know, we'll let you know.
Circle back.
All right, perfect. We'll come back for the
but I think we're excited about that.
Yeah, we are. And the cool thing is like, it is so fun, like, to be like, okay, we can kind of dream this up and go after it. And that is obviously one of the coolest things ever. So you're fun.
I love it. So we talked about like the passion and some of the things that keep you guys focused. What are some of the other like outside drivers and motivators that keep you focused on those really hard days?
I mean, I have 2 daughters, so like, I feel like me coming to work, them seeing that, like, I mean, I have 3 kids, I have a son as well, but my daughters specifically, they just know, like, even this morning, I'm like, okay, I have to go like work. I have this interview. I was actually doing like a mock interview with my daughter yesterday. It was so fun, and she was like the one I did. And so just for them to see like, okay, like I love being a mom. I mean, it really is like one of my greatest joys and passions. But like, also that I have other things that I'm really passionate about too, and the fact that they get to see me go and do that and chase after my dreams. From a very young age, I feel like is so instrumental in who they become. And so my mom worked, like, again, on her own terms. She worked a couple of days a week. She's a physical therapist. And I loved seeing that growing up and seeing her kind of go after what she was passionate about, and still is to this day. And so I feel like for me, that's a huge driving force.
Being that example. Giving them the idea that, hey, if I want to do something that I love and I'm passionate about, as long as I care about it, I think it works.
I mean, I would say pretty similar. Like, my dad, he started his own business. My mom, she started her own school that I like went to. Like, they were very much like, if you want something, just you go and do it. You put in the hard work. And so I know that really like influenced me. And helped me to feel like capable of like, okay, if you see an opportunity, like you're capable of doing it, like you just set your mind to it. And so I definitely want to have that same like example for, I have 2 boys, for them knowing like, all right, you just like, you do what you want to do, like you find your passion and like make it happen. And same thing, like I want them to know, like I feel like my husband and I, we found like a really good balance, like we're truly like partners. He owns his business, like he's able to like give it his 100%, like, and I'm able to get balanced culture 100%, but like we also, you know, share and have like our family dynamics that like, it's not like, you know, I'm always like taking care of everything with the kids and he just shows up and is like, hey, like he really is like an active part. And that's like, and I know it's the same for, you know, Kirstin, like that was really important to me. Like, I don't want to do everything. Like I love being a mom, but like I have passions that like I want to like give energy to as well. So just like remembering that balance and knowing like, okay, even though I'm leaving them and it might be hard, they want to like play all day, like same, you know?
Same.
But it's so healthy for them to see like, no, like it's okay to like have things that you have like responsibilities to do. So.
And our husbands have been super supportive since day one. Like, more supportive than like the average guy, 100%. Like, and they own their own businesses, so I think they get it. And I think there's all like this general understanding between the 4 of us of like, okay, there's certain
Sunday we show up, we just got to do stuff at the studio.
100%. So I feel like having their support since day one has been like monumental for us. To know that they care about our dreams as much as we do. So,
and I think, you know, just being a parent and being a mom, I'm not a mom, but hopefully someday. Like just thinking about, you know, if I'm working on the things I'm passionate about, the things that I love and I want to do, like I'm my best self. And I can be the best parent for my, you know, for my kids. For my kids. That's so what are some of the ways that you all partner with small businesses in Lakeland?
So we have something that we like to offer for our members as well, but also a way to kind of support other businesses that are in Lakeland. We do member perks every month. So each month there's going to be a different like business that we're partnering with, and that can be, we've partnered from like, you know, restaurants to hair salons to childcare, like anything under the sun. And we offer our members a discount. We usually leave it completely up to the small business, just like, hey, we want to partner with you, offer this. We'll be promoting it after every single class. Like we usually send on email, social media for the entire month and kind of push and promote their business. And so we leave it up to them. Like sometimes they'll offer a percentage off, sometimes there'll be a discount, or you know, kind of whatever's going to work best for them, because we really do want it to be a beneficial, like, you know, advertisement for them. And of course our girls love being able to like go and take advantage of the discount. So we love doing that. It's just something fun, like, okay, what should we do this month? So and then before, like pre-pandemic, we did a lot of community events. We do them at like Hollingsworth. There's like a grassy area like right around the walking path. We do like free yoga, free Pilates, and usually partner with a nonprofit or a certain cause and just have it be, you know, free for the public, but donation, you know, if you want to kind of support. And that's been so much fun because we'll have like a couple hundred people out there, men and women, just like doing a yoga class. Usually we try to do it not during the summer. So it's like beautiful weather, you're like by the lake, and it's just so fun to like connect. And then, you know, we've also done them at House 820, which again is like a beautiful space, and partnering with like a different nonprofit. And it's just like, it's been really fun. We miss doing them. We definitely want to like bring it back as soon as, you know, it's safe to do so. But we love those kind of ways to kind of, you know, root in.
Yeah, that's super rewarding. You're helping the community, you're helping the other businesses, you're helping your clientele. Like it's a win around the world. All around. Not just Lakeland. How did you guys come up with the name, The Balanced Culture?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we, starting off, like, set deadlines to when things have to be done. So I think the hardest part when you're starting a business is nobody's holding you accountable. Nobody's asking, hey, where's this? Or you have these deadlines then, or whatever. And so being able to set those deadlines and stick to them, like no matter what, by this date, this is done, I think is very instrumental for starting a business. And so we sat down, wrote a list of words that had to do everything with the business idea and concept, and just started like placing them together, see what worked. And balance and culture were just stacked right above each other in the list, like reading it aloud. So it was like, okay, this sounds good. There was a group text going at the time, and there was like, I don't know, 10 people in it. That was like our test market. So like, hey, what do you think about this? Some were like, others were like, yeah, this is great. And there's some key things of like naming your business when you start. You want people to easily be able to pronounce it.
Yep.
You want it to, you know, look good on merch, transform well to different types of merch. We had a different logo back then. It was like a B and a C, like stacked next to each other.
Yeah.
So that's evolved. We did a rebrand about a year in, and just kind of like once we figured out who we are, what's our mission, had more clarity in that.
Yeah.
We're kind of like, all right, script, and went to the drawing board and kind of built that up again.
Yeah.
And so. It was deadline, and that was the only name, so it's like, all right, this is what we're going to do, and set it and move forward. And so people all the time, and you have to make sure like social handles and, you know, emails are available, and that's another thing you have to tackle way more even now than you did 5 years ago.
Everything's
It's like you'll have a great name, and then you go and you plug it in Instagram, and 65 other people have something similar. So, you know, you want it to look clean and all of that. So I think it's just sticking to those deadlines, and that's what was left. And I was like, all right, this is what we're doing. At the end of the day, your business makes the name.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like people like balance cultures because like they really truly like the business. And so that's what they're drawn to.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
So when you all started the balance culture, obviously you had a really, you know, you have your knowledge about fitness and nutrition.
Yeah.
So you had like a really good, you know, jumping off point. What are some of the things you had to learn in order to open the business?
I knew nothing about business.
Lots of everything.
I did not know a single thing. Like genuinely, I did not know.
Yeah. It was all of it. Yeah.
I think when you start a business, you have to learn. You have to learn every aspect of the business when you're starting it, and you have to be willing to do every single aspect. And that includes like physically even cleaning the studio, like everything. And especially when your budget. Especially when your budget is zero. You have to be willing to like, okay, I will do anything because I can't afford to pay for anything. As you build it up, you can outsource. So like what we did is like over time, make more money and then outsource, pay for those things that you don't want to do. So now we have somebody who cleans the studio, and now we have somebody who runs it. But I have to do better. But I think it's important and humbling to start your business and do every single aspect of it. Because then, like, your threshold's pretty high because you're like, I'm willing to do anything. And I did. Back in the day, we ran and did everything. So I feel like it's like an initiation for entrepreneurs. No one do everything. Plunge toilets. Plunge toilets.
That's it's true. It's like taking out the trash, plunging toilets. Oh, apparently there's a story there.
I don't know if I want to share it. It was pretty bad. You guys, it was so bad.
This is bad. This is bad.
I hope this person isn't going to ever watch this video.
I don't think this is going to make it. This isn't going to make it.
Okay, this is probably too gross to make me.
It's not.
So basically, one morning, like an early morning spin class, a girl like came and she, like, I don't know, you never know. I don't know why this happened to her, but she had like a stomach issue in the bathroom, really bad, like clogged the toilet really bad, and I had to go like plunge.
Okay, so I came that Friday night and was like, okay, I need to figure this out. I was like here with my mom, like trying to plunge the toilet, nothing's working.
Okay, this toilet kept having problems.
The same issue. And so then you came on like Sunday, it had been like a couple days later, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna figure this out.
But no, it wasn't an empty toilet.
I know.
Remember, it was recently after that spin class. Was I pregnant at this point? Probably. Both of my pregnancies, I had like morning sickness like the whole time. So I was just like, it was normal for me to like throw up all the time. Everywhere. So anyways, I'm like plunging the toilet, and it like had like someone's like diarrhea in it. Literally, like it like splashed up and like landed on my lip. You guys! I was like, you're not myself.
To the ladies. She got shit lip.
Hey, Caitlin. So all the time she's like, you have this shit lip. And I'm like, I'm gonna get some type of disease. Like, I literally was like by myself, and I'm like, oh my god, no! I immediately called her, and I was like crying. I was like, you're never gonna guess what just happened.
I never would have guessed.
Never would have guessed. So
she always has that hanging over us.
I'm like, at least you didn't punch the diarrhea. So if you ever,
to your business.
And I was happy to do it. I hope that girl somehow I got stuck with it.
They really do.
It always is me. She's like off somewhere, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I'm here at the studio. Like when we first opened, we were only like, might as well just
Right, are we doing this?
I mean, we like had only been open a couple months. I don't know why I clapped. And I was here by myself, and I'm like in the back. There's like a closet.
I was in Concord.
Oh, all right, you were close.
I will say I was working. Yeah.
And I'm like rummaging around for something, and I like hear something like moving around like in the closet, and I'm like, what is that? Out runs like a rat. Literally, I never like I was like I screamed. I'm like standing up on a chair, and I'm like thinking on my phone. I like called her. I'm like, I need somebody to come up here and help me because I'm stuck. And this one of our friends, Grace, who like shout out to Grace,
really badass.
she came, caught the rat in a box, and like took it.
Wow.
Yes, I'm indebted to her forever. I can still like
best case scenario.
I can still bring myself back there. I was terrified.
I can imagine.
But the studio is rat free, poop free. It's a great place.
Carpets have been replaced.
New carpets, new toilet functioning. Actually, there was a new toilet back there, right? Just say yes. But yeah, so
just say yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh man, you guys telling us how good at interviews we are.
Yeah. You didn't ask for all that.
That's like the level of comfortability.
I've been needing to get that off my chest.
It is. This is the hard stuff.
You know that like Jeff Bezos deals with this stuff.
Not anymore, but
yeah, back in the day. Before he became the richest.
He had rats in his garage when he was starting Amazon.
I can imagine I'd love to interview like a Jeff Bezos to figure out like someone like him. How'd you start out?
We need to ask in future interviews, like, what's your shit lip story?
Yeah.
Get everyone to get raw.
Everybody has one.
Maybe not
So I have a super good question that I've never asked already. Okay, so I know like in the fitness world we all have people that we like look up to for like fitness inspiration, but in the business world, who do y'all look up to business wise?
I feel like locally or just like
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Small, big.
Okay, I love Gary Vaynerchuk. I think he is like freaking brilliant. He has a really bad mouth, so if you can't get past that, don't listen to him. But he's from New York, and he is just brilliant, all things business. And so when I, about a year into Balance Culture, I was like, okay, I really want to learn business because I don't know it at all, and I want to be able to keep up with where we're like headed.
Yeah.
And so my husband was like, you should create your own little business school. So I was like, okay. So every day for like hours, like, I mean, I'm talking this pre-kids, obviously, like 3 or 4 hours a day. I was commuting to where I was working, so an hour each way, listen, and then while I was getting ready, all that. And I would just pick a person and like dive fully into all of their things. And he was one that I lived there for like, 4 months and listened to everything he ever put out, read all of his books. And he's just a genius when it comes to marketing, telling your story. At the time, he was like kind of the pioneer in all things social media. And so he was like the first to be doing all of it. He owned a marketing agency, and so he was just brilliant when it came to like, this is how you need to be strategic, this is how you need to take advantage of these free platforms, and so to be able to hear like from the guru of how to do all those things was really cool. So
That's huge,
him and Brene Brown were like my top two.
Yeah. Mine, one is like more recently that I've started really like kind of following more closely and admiring. It's just actually this random like woman that I found on Instagram.
Sometimes they're the best.
I'm so inspired by her. So she is a mom, she has 4 kids, and she's just like a go-getter. She's like, life is hectic. I mean, they're little kids. Like they're not just like, self-sufficient. Like she's actively like caring for them. And she's like started a branding school, like is just always, adding. She started actually a real school for her kids as well this year. Like she's just like, if I see like a need, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make it happen. Like even if it's hard, like, and she just is very vulnerable and really has shared like the behind the scenes of her journey. And I think it's really helped me to feel like, because I know like recently we've even been talking about like, okay, where do we want the Balance Culture to go? Equally balancing like the passion and the dreams that we have for Balance Culture, but also our families. Like we never want to say, okay, let's dive in like fully and we'll be, working 24/7. Like that's not the like life work balance we want. And so I feel like looking at her, I'm able to kind of see a glimpse into like, no, you can get a lot of like stuff done, but you can also be like a really good mom. And so like she's been really inspiring to me of like what maybe this next couple years like of my own life will look like. And it's just like that's the best part about social media. You're able to like almost be like one-on-one with people. They're sharing like this is what I'm doing. This is like and she shares like this sucks, this is hard, this was a fail, and it's just like nice to know like everybody's like going through those experiences too. So,
absolutely, yeah. That's a really huge part of what we're trying to do with like with business owners is that like level of transparency.
Yeah.
Because when you're in the community and you're regulating these businesses, like you see the good stuff most of the time. Like you see like the end result.
Smooth sailing.
Yeah, and you don't think, and most people don't think about everything it took to get to that. And I think a lot of people maybe want to start their own business, but don't like begin, or they're intimidated by it. And so looking at people like you ladies with the balance culture, you're so successful. Knowing okay, I can do it too. Like it's relatable.
Yeah, definitely.
That's always the goal.
Yeah. How much of your clientele would you say is based on like organic like referrals versus like how much of your business do you think has been successful as a result of marketing?
I feel like almost 99% is just organic.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started, our marketing budget was negative $100. So all we did was like, share with your friends. Like we had so many class cards, and we passed those out like literally. And so it was just like, come try a class for free because we felt really confident, that like if you come and like you see what we're about and you see the classes and not just the classes but the community, like you're gonna want to be a part of it. And so that was like huge. And so for the first couple of years we did like no marketing, and now like we do like some social media stuff, but even that like we don't normally do any other type of like marketing. Like we really have been fortunate enough that like we try to invest in the women that are coming, and that like investment in return they're like, I want to share this like with my friends, my family. So that's been like the
main
most reward for us.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think you're really focused on your brand and like what you're providing. You're claiming the business for you.
Definitely.
We appreciate your time today, and look forward to chatting again in the next 5 years.